Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Matt, and today I wanted to talk about language learning goals and in particular stress that might be involved in that process. And I think that for some people, they don't want to set goals because there's like this idea that it's very stressful, that you have this pressure that you have to meet these targets on a week by week basis. And it's better to just not have goals in general, or there's like this. It's okay to not meet your goals. Don't try to have your life dominated by language learning or goals in general. And I understand all the points there, but what I want to kind of talk about is just kind of this different perspective with goals, because I'm a huge advocate for goals, and I think a lot of it is about just understanding the goal process itself and having your goals work for you in the end of the day. So in the end, the goals are there to serve you. They're there to help you in the language learning process. I don't think it's something to try to be pressured by or to be stressed out about. And if you just kind of reframe the way you think about things, I think you can have a lot more of a positive appreciation for goal setting, and in particular as it relates to language learning. So, with goals, I think that you have to understand that you're always in control of setting up the guidelines for the goal setting in general, right? So I think that when we talk about this idea of the goals are become overwhelming, or you feel this pressure that you have to meet this hour total or this vocabulary target every week, just remember that you're in control of that target. There's going to be instances where we've just set a target that's just way too ambitious. We just have other things that are going on in life. We want to do other things, right? Maybe you just want to have some fun. You have other priorities, and the hour total that you've set, or the other whatever goal it is you've set, is just too ambitious. And I think that in some instances, people want to hold on to the target, and then they get stressed out, they get burned out, and they go, it's the goals, it's the goals' fault. It's not the goal's fault, right? The goal is just there to help you, right? It's there to guide you to ensure that you're making progress towards some end. So I think that, the first thing is that if you have goals already, it's okay to downgrade the goals, right? It's okay to lower them temporarily or permanently. I think that's it's a totally okay strategy, right? They're there to help you in the end of the day, so don't be afraid to adjust them, right? You might think that there's like this pressure to not do that, but if it helps you in the end of the day, do it. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is just at the beginning of the process in general. And this is kind of why I try to advocate a SMART goals framework, because a lot of people tend to be very ambitious in their goal setting, where they think that they can just, it's going to be no problem to meet the hour total or whatever it is. And then they're surprised to find that it's a lot of work, it's very ambitious, and they're not going to be able to keep it up. And I've fallen into this trap many times, right? Just because I'm really into goals doesn't mean that I've never failed at a goal or had trouble with it. It happens, and it's quite common. So I think that, remember, you can always adjust things. I think that's the key, is that if you find out something is too ambitious or it's too aggressive, scale it down. It's totally fine. So I think, remember that you're in control of the creation part of things, and that's just that's just part of the process, right? In the end of the day, too, with goals, the thing about it is that they're just there to kind of help you along the way, to help you to get to what you want in life. And so, yes, there is like a degree of stress and pressure with goals, but ultimately I think they're there to help you. I don't really like the idea that like there are these pressured targets and these pressured ideas, and this kind of perception of things. I don't agree with that, because, like I said, at some point, you have to put in a certain amount of effort to reach a target by a certain time frame, right? So like if you have a goal of fluency in Spanish, for example, by a certain date, the reality is that you have to put in the hours to get there in that 2-year time frame or 3 years or whatever your time frame is. So, how do you ensure that you get there, right? Well, the goals are there. They're like, okay, well, you need to do this many hours every single month, every single week, or whatever it is. And it's there to help you. It's there to guide you. It's there to see like, hey, I'm falling behind. I'm losing motivation. Why is that? Can I get motivation back? Or, hey, look, I'm so ahead of target. Or, wow, I'm going to probably need more hours than what I initially thought. They're there to help you, right? And ultimately, remember, what is the goal, right? The goal is not this just arbitrary thing that you've set. It's trying to create color. It's trying to create clarity into something that you want with your life, right? And in this case, it's learning a language. If you think about goal setting from the perspective of anything else, I think it's enlightening, right? Because let's say you want to get more in shape and you have a goal of maybe running a marathon or something. That's just something that you want to achieve in your life. It can be over any topic, whether it's relationships, experiences that you want to have, skills you want to acquire, achievements, whatever it is. So remember, the goals, the pressure, all those things, they're not pressures. They're just saying, hey, this is what you need to do to get to this place. And in some cases, there's a time component to it. And hey, if you have to scale down your goals and fluency is going to take you an extra 6 months or an extra year, so be it, right? It's the target that you have right now is stressing you out, it's pressuring you, and thus you need to lower it, right? For you to have, a better, mental attitude about things. So that's just the way it is, right? But the hour total of what you might need to get to fluency, that's not going to change. So I think it's important to just not blame the goals. The goals are there to help you, right? I think it requires some degree of mental discipline to not be pressured by them, or to be upset if you fail the goals, right? If you don't meet the targets, so be it, right? But it's just there to kind of help you to accomplish the things that you want in life, right? And it can, like I say, it can be anything, but in this case, it's with language learning. So I think that's important to remember. And the last thing is that goals are super helpful in my opinion. Only so many people have goals in their life, and probably a smaller number of people actually have language learning goals. But what it's doing for you is that it's helping to ensure that you have steady progress in the language learning process. It's helping you to get into a routine of things, to have a degree of consistency, which is going to help you to have way more results than if you're just kind of relying on motivation or something like that. It's going to help, hopefully, if you're tracking it, to see your progress, and that's going to help you to get motivation, to get clarity, and this kind of visual reference that, hey, I am making progress, versus just kind of relying on a feeling of making progress, right? If you have those goals that you're hitting and you're meeting, that's helping you a ton in the end of the day. So, is there a little bit of pressure with it? Probably, but I think that the benefits that I kind of just said in terms of helping you with getting steady progress, to keep building your motivation and things like that, is so invaluable, and it's worth it, in my opinion. And the thing is, while there always is probably going to be some degree of pressure with goals, where I'm below target and I don't know if I'm going to make it, it's helping to push yourself. It's helping you to be more resourceful, right? And I think that's a positive thing, right? Don't be afraid of pushing yourself where things are a little bit uncomfortable, or you have to strain yourself just a little bit, right? I think it's a good life-building characteristic, right? Where you have to figure out, okay, how can I get my hours in? I'm struggling here. What can I do to catch up? It helps you to critically think about things. I think that's important, right? It's this kind of life-building thing, right? You're dealing with challenges and adversities. So I wouldn't overlook that, especially, I know it's a little bit pressure on at times, but I think it's a positive thing in the end of the day. So that's what I had to say. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.